what if I told you that God was an Avenger? So he will take up justice against these issues. Hey, my friends, welcome to Breakfast with Bradley. Come on in here. Hey, we're gonna get our day started right. You know, there is a lot to be said about Marvel's Avengers, but what if I told you that God was the first Avenger and still is an Avenger today? Something that's very important for us to understand. Let me take you to 1 Thessalonians chapter 4. We're gonna do this. It's gonna be 4, 5, and 6 that we look at. Here we go. That each one of you know how to control his own body in holiness and honor, not in the passion of lust like the Gentiles who do not know God, that no one transgress or wrong his brother in this matter, because the Lord is an avenger in all these things, as we told you beforehand and solemnly warned you. One of the things that we've been talking about is marriage this week, and if you really want to dive into that, we made a video a little bit back to talk about what Jesus describes as marriage and the only exit point for it. In addition to that, we talked a little bit about what would be a good idea for marriage versus a bad idea for marriage. So if you want to really get some context on what we're furthering today, go check out those videos. It'll bless you. But we need to understand that God really holds marriage as sacred. And this is important because in the very beginning, which is what Jesus draws us back to when he was questioned about it, we see that God notices that Adam is not good to be alone. And so he brings all the animals to prove to Adam that he needs something other than what they can provide. And after naming all the animals, then God takes a rib after putting Adam to sleep out of his side and then forms woman. Okay? Now Adam knows he's complete. It's after this that God begins to bless them as one person to fulfill his call and his purpose, which is to subdue the world into what they have in the garden. All right, now we know that that goes horribly awry. All right, and now things are an absolute mess when it comes to marriage because we are in a sinful world. We have our own issues of our rebellion against God, and we bring that into our relationships. And one of the ways that we see this transpire is by looking at other people's spouses and abandoning ours for theirs. This is a very big deal to God. In addition to that, we also see that being unfaithful to our spouse is a very big issue to the Lord. The Bible says that we need to be able to control ourselves in holiness, right? What else does he say? Not only in holiness, but in honor. Okay, so we need to honor what God is doing to bring two individuals together, and also we need to honor the fact that God has something for us in this area, not just for everyone, okay? We are to be with one individual as we take covenant before God for loving that person, and that's where we need to stay. Now, what we see here is that it's so serious to the Lord that he will actually be the avenger in this thing. So he will take up justice against these issues. One of the things that we often say in performing or officiating a wedding ceremony is what God has joined together, let no man separate. I do find it interesting that we get married before God, but we get divorced before a judge, right? Well, what we see here is that God is saying, no, I will be the judge in this because I brought them together. If I brought them together, I will also bring justice or avenge anything that is trying to separate them if it is, of course, not of the Lord. All right, so what we have to understand is God is very serious about this, and he does hold marriage in high esteem, and what he has formed and joined together, he wants to stay together. Now, I understand that because we live in a sinful, broken world, people are very abusive to this. We get an ego, we hurt one another, and that's why it's so important in Christian marriage to have a right relationship with the Lord, so that if we have right relationship with the Lord, not only can he correct us when we need correcting, but he can also bring us together in the commonality of Christ, which will, of course, bring about a beautiful, loving relationship. That's what we need to see. And that's what was actually in the garden. So, my friends, now you understand that God is the first avenger and he holds marriage sacredly, so we should too. And I want to just make a caveat because I already know that there is a lot of hurt in this area because of the brokenness of this world and because of bad decisions that we make and because of rebellious things that we do. My friends, I also want to encourage you, if you've made mistakes, if you have done things that are wrong, if you have totally blown it in marriage, there is grace for you. God extends his grace to draw you into relationship with him. Take that grace and allow his righteousness to cover over you and allow him to draw you into what it means to actually have right relationship with others, and you'll do right every time. Okay, my friends? Hey, we're going to continue talking about this. We'll see you next time. My friends, Breakfast with Bradley is making a powerful difference, and you are part of that. If you would consider joining with us financially to reach more people, go to our Patreon account and sign up, and my friends, we'll make a powerful difference in all those who want to hear. Thanks for being part of us. God bless you.